I mean, to be really honest with you right now, I don't really know how to classify and to qualify and to tell you just how deep of a we're in a fucking mess right now. I'm sorry to start off that way, but good morning. Did you guys hear about what's happening? I don't know if you have heard about what is going on in this world. There is some huge fallout from those, we're calling it Signalgate, from the text messages that went out on this encrypted chat, and we have the goods. We've got the text messages. And what is in those text messages will surprise you, and how the administration is responding is a total lie. They are trying to pretend that this is not a big deal. They're trying to pretend, it's just someone on a text message. Oh my gosh, it's not a big deal. What's everybody so upset about and concerned about? No one should be worried about any of this. Oh my gosh, guys, I can't tell you. It is really, really, really disturbing. And I hate to say good morning, go is right in the chat. Let me just say hello to you guys. And I'm going to put this up as I tell you, hit the thumbs up, please hit the like. It affects the algorithm and more people become aware of our conversation, and they will join us here on the Lemonation, and perhaps they too will become lemon heads. Show us what you got in the chat. Don, I love your show from Kentucky. Thank you very much. I love that you guys are here as well. I got to tell you, it brings me no joy. I take no glee in this. It is really concerning. And the security of America, the security of the world is in the hands of idiots. They got cooked. I am going to tell you this. If Mike Waltz and Pete Hegseth aren't fired, then Donald Trump should just leave office and just go. What they have done is inexplicable. You're going to hear from Mike Waltz and his ridiculous excuse. He almost sounds like Tom Homan because it is incomprehensible what he is saying. I don't like to outrage you. I'm not being hyperbolic. Idiots is polite. Whoever said that in the chat. Saying idiots is polite. Now, you guys know the story. There is this war effort or attack effort that is about to happen in Yemen. High-ranking members of the administration that should be used to handling top secret information. They start a text chat on Signal, which is an encrypted platform where people can text message back and forth. Now, whether it was legal or not, that some people are saying yes, some are saying no, some are saying, well, maybe. But even if it is, if they can have it on their phones, the information that they released is indefensible. They should not be releasing it. And someone on that chat, that message group, the text chat, the chain, should have known better, and someone should have pointed it out. As a matter of fact, I believe all of them should face consequences, some disciplinary action, and some of them should be fired. This is a complete indication that Pete Hegseth is not qualified to be the Defense Secretary of the United States. Pete Hegseth, two culprits here, Mike Waltz, Pete Hegseth. Mike Waltz added this Atlantic, the editor-in-chief of the Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, to the text chat. I don't know if it was willingly, wittingly, or unwittingly if he did it. And then Pete Hegseth was giving blow by blow, strike by strike, secret information about bombings and attacks that are going on in Yemen as they are happening. And one person on that chat was in Russia at the time. And we don't know if they're on their private phones or their government phones. Their own phones or their government phones. At any rate, this is incompetency, and I do believe that Pete Hegseth and Mike Waltz should be fired. I will go on the record to that. You should call the White House. You should get in touch with your lawmakers. You should tell them these folks need to be fired because they are incompetent. And that's not hyperbole. That's not partisan. That is 100% fact and truth. And we have the proof. I like to give you receipts. So thank you to all the new members. Welcome to all the new members. Thank you, Cherry Hill, and folks who are in the chat now who are supporting independent media. Thank you for your generous support of independent media. And thank you to Edgar Rodriguez. Because of Edgar's generosity, 20 people get to become members of Elimination. You guys know how we do it here. And we're going to go through it. I'm going to take my time this morning, and I'm going to give you the real shit, as they say. I'm so glad that I can say that. I used to not be able to say that. As I'm doing that, let me just show you what's happening on Capitol Hill right now. You see Tulsi Gabbard, who is now the director of national intelligence, right? A big job that folks like, James Clapper and others used to have, really qualified people. As you know, Tulsi Gabbard is not qualified to be the director of national intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard is some reportedly and, allegedly, they believe that she is a Russian asset. She did a terrible job with the Senate yesterday. Now she is in front of the Congress. And these hearings were scheduled weeks and weeks and weeks ago. It just so happens that they happen to happen as all of this craziness, this madness is going on. So I want you to join me in this conversation. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'm going to take you through it. So first, let me do my due diligence and show you. We wanted all of it, Don. Thank you, Angela Calloway. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm here for you, and you're here for me. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go. By the way, I have my Tamron Hall mug. Tamron is a dear friend, and we support her. So make sure you watch the Tamron Hall show. I'm just saying, we need to support each other. Preach. Take your time, sir. Oh, you guys, I love it. If you are new here, just know that this is your channel. You can participate. I will read and respond to what you put in the chat, because this is not just me preaching at you. This is also you being able to respond. Okay. So here we go. Good morning. Welcome. This is Hot Topics, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're watching the situation that's happening in Washington. We're watching the hearings on Capitol Hill. Now there is a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing that is happening. This is a Don Lemon show. Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic. It's theatlantic.com. It's The Atlantic magazine. It's all of the above. Jeffrey Goldberg has the goods, everyone. He's got it. This story fell into his hands, and oh my gosh, to be Jeffrey Goldberg right now as a reporter is to hit the jackpot. He didn't even ask for it. Jeffrey Goldberg hit the jackpot. They delivered it right into his hands, and now they're trying to sully his reputation because that's all they got. I'm going to show you what they have, which is nothing, in just moments. First thing this morning, The Atlantic published the full text thread from the Trump administration Signal group chat that accidentally included Goldberg's discussions. Not his discussions, included him in discussions of pending U.S. military strikes. Okay, just in case you're not clear with me, okay? This is something that should take down these people and should take down the administration. And in any other time, this would take down an entire presidency. This would take down the National Security Advisor, the Director of National Intelligence, the Defense Secretary, the Vice President of the United States would all be gone in a normal situation, in a normal administration. And I think they should be gone now. They should be fired. Donald Trump should step down. Do you know why he should step down? Because he hired and appointed these incompetent imbeciles, buffoons, and put them in these positions. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. And maybe James Carville was right. Just sit back, take your shoes off, and relax, because these guys are going to self-implode. They should be fired. Donald Trump should go. Goldberg had withheld some of the contents of the thread in his bombshell report on Monday, revealing that he had been looped in on plans to carry out attacks on Houthi targets in Yemen. Goldberg noted in that report that some of the texts contained information that, quote, this is the original article right here, could conceivably have been used to harm American military and intelligence personnel had they been read by a U.S. adversary. But Goldberg and his outlet decided to publish the full text after Donald Trump and others in the group chat declared Tuesday that none of these messages were classified. So they're trying to get out of it by saying this isn't classified information. It should not. And Goldberg said, okay, call their bluff and said, if you're going to say it's not classified information, I'm going to release the shit. Again, this is like Canada. Donald Trump calls, someone's bluff and they go, okay, fine. Then we're going to put tariffs on you and we'll cut the electricity off and to the 1.5 million folks that we provide electricity for in the United States. Canada's like, we don't care. And now Jeffrey Goldberg and the Atlantic are like, okay, fine. Then we don't care. We're going to release it. And then we're going to show you that you're liars. And that this is a cover-up. It is a blunder of the highest proportions. And I have to tell you, honestly, again, I am not being hyperbolic here. This is, we are at DEFCON 11 in this situation. Goldberg and his outlet decided to publish the full text after President Donald Trump and others in that text group declared Tuesday that none of the messages were classified and said that they did not contain war plans. They did not contain war plans. So here's how what they're trying to say. Well, these are war plans. They're not war plans. These are attack plans. That's all you got. That's all you got. So before I play the text messages, I just want you to hear some of how they're trying to defend this. And you're not going to believe how they are trying to defend this. First up, here is the big kahuna trying to defend something that is indefensible. Now, I want you guys to sit back. Are you guys listening to me this morning? Are you guys listening this morning? I don't believe that you are. If you are listening, hit the thumbs up. The membership link is at the top of the chat. The subscription button is right at the bottom right hand of your screen, right below the Don Lemon Show logo. Subscriptions are free and the memberships are extremely reasonable. So welcome to all the new members and thank you everyone for your generous support and thank you for tuning in. Now listen. You guys know the buck stops with you, right? The buck stops with me. The buck stops at my desk. Joe Biden always said that. Barack Obama always said that. Bill Clinton said it. Even George Bush said it. Jimmy Carter said it. The buck stops with me. I'm the person sitting behind this desk. Well, Donald Trump is president of the United States, and he seems not to know shit about anything. I never met that person. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing. I never heard about it. I don't know. And then the next thing is they're awful. They're terrible. They hate us. They hate MAGA. All of these things. There's always an excuse, and he doesn't know. The question should be, Mr. President, are you concerned that you don't know about this? But here's the real deal. He's a liar. He's lying. He knows, and he doesn't know what to say. And again, now he is on another media tour, trying to take back the narrative and change the media message. I don't think it's going to work here. Not with normies. Now, with the folks who are sitting at home at Fox News and they're watching all day and they don't change the channel or some conservative channel or the channel that we're about to show you. I think it's Newsmax. I'm not exactly sure what it is. They're never going to hear the truth. They're just going to hear Donald Trump spinning and spinning and spinning. Now, pay close attention. Sit back with your coffee or whatever it is that you're doing. Take your headphones out or your desk, whatever it is that you have. And be prepared to listen to this bullshit. Here's Donald Trump.
What it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission, somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app, and somehow this guy ended up on the call. Now, it wasn't classified, as I understand it. There was no classified information. There was no problem, and the attack was a tremendous success.
New lighting.
So I can only go by what I've been told. I wasn't involved in it, but I was told by, and the other people weren't involved at all. But I feel very comfortable, actually.
You were on the.
Okay. I need to hear that again because I got a little distracted. I was talking to the folks over on TikTok as I was doing that. Now listen, but I think it's important. Now listen, it was on there, Mike Wall's permission. It's a staff person, or it's this, or it's that. Here he is again. Listen, I don't know. He's just dancing here. Listen.
What it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission, somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app, and somehow this guy ended up on the call. Now, it wasn't classified, as I understand it. There was no classified information. There was no problem, and the attack was a tremendous success. So I can only go by what I've been told. I wasn't involved in it, but I was told by, and the other people weren't involved at all. But I feel very comfortable, actually.
You were on the.
I could that whole soundbite right there. Let me just tell you that whole soundbite right there. I could go an hour with that soundbite and tell you. I just want to explain to you what he's doing. I hate to do this to you, okay? Because I know many of you hate to see him. I understand that he is the president of the United States, but I want to tell you in this moment what he's doing, and I'm going to do it quickly, okay? So Andy, I'm sorry, and I hate to do this to you guys. So play it, and then I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to tell you what he's doing right here, okay? Let's go.
What it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission, somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level.
Okay, pause. So they're trying to blame it on a lower level staffer right here to say this was not the fuck up of the person that I appointed that I wanted to be the national security advisor. So they're trying to blame it on a staff member. Uh-oh. They're trying to blame it on a staff member, and they're going to say that a staff member screwed up or did something that was wrong. Okay? So they'll blame it on a staff member, and that is what he's doing here. And so he's trying to take the blame off of Waltz and himself and pretend that they were there by permission. They granted them permission knowingly. And so maybe it kind of wasn't a fuck up. Let's go.
Had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app, and somehow this guy ended up on the call. Now, it wasn't classified, as I understand it. There was no classified information. There was no problem, and the attack was a tremendous success. So I can only go by what I've been told. I wasn't involved in it, but I was told by, and the other people weren't involved at all. But I feel very comfortable, actually.
Okay, I don't know how comfortable he really feels about this. I don't believe that he's that comfortable about it, obviously, because of the situation. I'm just changing my battery here. For some reason, I screwed up with my battery. I don't believe that he's that comfortable with it. Okay, let's continue on. Keep going.
That's the end of the clip.
Oh, I wanted to sorry. I let it go, Andy. Sorry. Pardon me. Let me just tell you guys what's going on because I had to change my battery in my camera. I am back. Okay. So I don't think that he's that comfortable about it. He's lying. And then he's trying to, at the end, I wanted to go through it with you until that happened. And then at the end, he's trying to get himself out of the situation, saying, I don't know anything about it. I have no idea what's going on. So these people, honestly, if he has the courage to do this, they may all be the fall guys, and Donald Trump will continue to be the president of the United States, and he won't face any repercussions because he'll say, I know nothing about this, had nothing to do with me. It wasn't me. It was Mike Waltz and company. Now, Mike Waltz was on the Fox News last night. And Mike Waltz, it's saying, well, you know, he's trying to sully the reputation of the reporter and trying to explain himself. Now, listen, this guy is the national security advisor. I want you to listen to how he speaks. I'm not sure if it's him or if it's Tom Homan. I'm not sure what's going on with these guys who either, I don't know, can't speak complete English or they just sound like buffoons. But he appears to be befuddled as he is trying to make his way through an interview on Fox News. Here it is.
We're going to get to the bottom of it. I just talked to Elon on the way here. We've got the best technical minds looking at how this happened. But I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom scum of journalists. And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone. And we're going to figure out how this happens.
What is wasn't? He wasn't on my phone. What is that? And why are they saying he is the bottom scum of journalists? Even if he is the bottom scum of journalists, does that really condone what you did? Does that excuse what you did? Does that excuse the huge blunder that you made? This guy is the bottom scum of journalists. They're trying to sully this reporter, and they're going over on what? The Fox News. And then the other guy was on, is that Newsmax? What is that? Can you just put the still up of the one before, Andy? Which one was Trump on? This was Greg Kelly.
He was on Newsmax, yeah.
That's Newsmax. Okay. So he was on Newsmax. So they're going to these favorable outlets so that they can spin a narrative and bullshit the American people. Now, that's going to work. That's going to work. But it's going to work only for so long. Only for so long. Because you can't keep this drip, drip, drip and wait till I show you the text messages. It is truly going to be up to Donald Trump and up to you, honestly, and the lawmakers in Washington to be outraged, to push. Treason? Someone says, Snug, is it treason? I don't know if it's treason, but I know it makes us unsafe. I know that it should be illegal. I know that it is a fireable offense. I know that they should face some sort of repercussions, some sort of disciplinary action. Every single person who was on that text chain and those who were giving away, if you want to call them attack secrets or war secrets or whatever it is, they should be fired. Bottom line. I wouldn't on it. I wouldn't on it. These are the people that we have been trying to tell you. I wouldn't on it. Now, I don't care if you have a Southern accent or whatever it is, but wouldn't is not a word. And now their Doge savior, they're saying, is on this. They are now putting out a narrative that they were hacked, that somehow Jeffrey Goldberg knew that there was going to be something happening, and he added himself to this purposely, surreptitiously. How would he even know? I was hacked. How many times have you guys heard that? I was hacked. And then as it turns out, it's like, maybe I wasn't hacked. I was in the chat. Yeah. I was cheating on my wife. I wasn't hacked. Yeah, I tweeted that racist shit. I was hacked. Here he is again and saying that look, we've got the biggest tech person in the world on top of this. Here it is.
But I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone. And we're going to figure out how this happened.
So you don't know what staffer is responsible for this right now?
Well, look, a staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated.
But how did the
execute?
number? I mean, I don't mean to be pedantic here, but how did the number?
Have you ever had somebody's contact that shows their name, and then you have somebody else's number there?
I never make those mistakes.
Right? You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact. So of course I didn't see this loser in the group. It looked like someone else. Now whether he did it deliberately or it happened in some other technical mean is something we're trying to figure out.
So
this loser. So listen, again, I take responsibility, but I don't take responsibility. It was a staffer, but the buck stops with me. Okay, at least he's trying to but he can't. You can't have it both ways. He's being too cute by half. Wasn't in my contacts. I don't know him. look, I'll bet you, this is me, this is an opinion, I'll bet you he was a source for someone on that text chain, if not for Waltz himself. I bet you he was a source, because you just don't end up, you have somebody's name and it's different and whatever, and I can't, and this is going on and on and on and on. It was a Waltz staffer that added Goldberg, according to Trump. The staffer added it, but I don't know how it got in there, and we've got our biggest text guy on it. What did he say? We've got Elon Musk on it. Did he just say that in the thing? Musk is going to figure out how it was added. Why does Elon Musk need to figure out why it was added? Does that make any sense to anybody in the chat? Does that make any sense to you guys? Peter and Nikki, why does Elon Musk need to get behind a thing that he said he added himself? What does that have to do with anything? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I feel like they're honestly just trying to create this image of a conspiracy, and that don't worry, we're going to get to the bottom of it, because they'll never take accountability. They're never going to say, yeah, it was our fault, we did this. No, it's going to have to be someone else's fault. So they're trying to build up this.
What is there to get to the bottom of? He added someone to the text chain, and now he's trying to say he broke into the text chain. None of this shit makes sense.
Yeah, can we throw up the full screen where we have a literal screenshot that says Mike Waltz added you?
Yeah, it's Mike Waltz added. Mike Waltz added you to the group. Disappearing message time was set to 1 week.
Which is also extremely illegal.
Which is also problematic. That's where I was going, because what is it called? The records, the something Records Act, or whatever. Every communication that happens should be part of the records for the White House, for the administration, for the government, and it should go into a records file. This disappearing is illegal that they're doing right here. And so they don't know. And so what does Elon Musk or the tech folks or Doge or Big Balls or whatever, what are they going to uncover? That Mike Waltz added Jeffrey Goldberg to the group. What is there to investigate? Can you guys please check? I believe that John Ratcliffe is speaking, because he was on that thing at this hearing. Can we just check in with this hearing right now? Do we have it?
Cool.
Let's listen to see if
the opportunity to relay the fact that yesterday I spent 4 hours answering questions from senators as a result of that article that were intimating that I transmitted classified information because there were hidden messages. Those messages were revealed today and revealed that I did not transmit classified information, and that the reporter, who I don't know, I think intentionally intended it to indicate that. That reporter also indicated that I had released the name of an undercover CIA operative in that signal chain. In fact, I had released the name of my chief of staff, who is not operating undercover. That was deliberately false and misleading. And I appreciate the opportunity to reflect that my answers haven't changed. I used an appropriate channel to communicate sensitive information. It was permissible to do so. I didn't transfer any classified information. And at the end of the day, what is most important is that the mission was a remarkable success, is what everyone should be focused on here, because that's what did happen, not what possibly could have happened.
Thank you, Director Ratcliffe. Director Patel, thank you for the great job that you've done. So,
oh my God, I'm going to barf.
Your coordination and trying to comply with the letter that was sent last year and the year before, asking for the baseball shooting, of which
okay. All right. So they're going on to something else. Okay. So obviously this guy, Mr. Kelly, who's the vice chairman, is a MAGA stooge there. But anyways, John Ratcliffe is not being completely honest and transparent, because there was someone who is a CIA person, reportedly in the Atlantic article, that Jeffrey Goldberg chose not to identify, and did not put that person in the texts that were released. He didn't say we shouldn't have been on this call, we shouldn't have been on this text chain. He didn't say any of that. He just defended himself and did not speak about the main problem. Everyone is trying to cover their ass. You know what CYA is? Everyone is trying to cover their ass. And this, I can't, and then this person who is asking questions is ridiculous. I hope someone gets to the bottom and someone asks a real question at these hearings. And whoever in the chat said that the real issue is that they were on signal, you are 100% correct. That is the real issue that they are skirting around. And we're going to get to the text. But I just want to tell you again, the problem there is, the main problem is that they were on signal. That's the main problem. And yet and still, as they say, yet and still, they are bullshitting you and pussyfooting around. I'm telling you guys, someone should be fired. People should be fired. Please hit the thumbs up and the like to make sure that more folks become aware of the conversation. The engagement is fantastic. So get on the likes, guys. Thank you so much for that. Let's talk about the bullshit about how they're trying to defend themselves over at state-run media. So Donald Trump went on state-run media over at the Newsmax. And then you had Mike Walls, who went on state-run media over at the Fox News. You notice I keep going back to the same people. Every night it's Laura Ingraham or Sean Hannity or some other person that they want to get the message out to. They go on Sean Hannity because he has a radio show, and they know the next morning or the next day it's going to continue on all day. The lies are going to run the sound bites. I spoke to him. They're going to defend him. Same thing with Laura Ingraham. All day long they're going to do it, and they're going to go on her show. It is a plot. It is a plan. It is state-run media. So this is how they're over on the Fox News. This is how they are trying to defend. This is what Jesse Waters is trying to do. Is that right, Jesse Waters? Here it is. Listen.
Goldberg will sometimes send out fake names with a contact with their cells.
Rewind it to the beginning. I want you to get all of it.
It's like Goldberg will sometimes send out fake names with a contact with their cells to deceive politicians. Yeah. Wall says Elon and Big Balls are on the case. This wouldn't surprise me if Goldberg sneaked his way in. He's the lowest of the low.
It was a plot. It was a plan. They snuck in, and they are trying to destroy the credibility and the reputation of the reporter. What does it have to do with it? What if the reporter is a scumbag or sleazy? Now, I don't know that to be true because I don't know Jeffrey Goldberg that way. So what do you do when you don't have the goods, when you don't have the evidence, when you can simply say this didn't happen, or when you don't take responsibility? You try to destroy the reputation of the person who is exposing you. You call them a liar. Do you remember? I remember when Donald Trump, during the first term, Don Lemon is dumb. This person is dumb. They're stupid. They're mean. They're liars. Fake news. The news media is, you can't trust them. They're fake. What do? You try to discredit and destroy the reputation of the people who are legitimately criticizing you and holding you responsible because you have nothing else. If you had the goods, you would just present the evidence and say, this is how I know that this person is lying, or it's not factual, it's not true. Here it is. They are not doing that. And now he is saying, hey, look, Wallace is saying that Big Balls and whatchamacallit are on the case, and they're going to try to figure out how these people hacked their way into this text chat, how this person knew that we had a signal. Now, if Jeffrey Goldberg, here's the thing, if Jeffrey Goldberg can hack his way into a signal text chat, imagine what our adversaries can do. This is how dumb they are, because they haven't even thought that far ahead, that if they say Jeffrey Goldberg can somehow sneak his way into this chat and into this group, then what about the professionals? What about the spies? What about the hackers? If Goldberg can do it, they're not telling you that. Let's go through the evidence, okay? You guys are ready for the evidence? As I'm going through this evidence, I want you to hit the thumbs up. Okay, so here's the new thing. Here are the attack plans that Trump's adversaries shared on Signal. The administration has downplayed the importance of the text messages inadvertently sent to the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg and Shane Harris. Let's go through it. Here's the evidence, okay? I'm going to make this as big as I can so that I can actually read it for you. On Monday, shortly after we published a story about a massive Trump administration security breach, a reporter asked the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, why he had shared plans about a forthcoming attack on Yemen on the Signal messaging app. He answered, nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about it. Now they're hung up on war plans. Now they're hung up on war plans. And were they texting? Yeah. Yeah. If you want to, pick and choose what's a war plan and what's a text, what is an attack plan? Okay. Semantics. That's your only defense? Besides Jeffrey Goldberg is a scum, according to you? The Senate hearing yesterday, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and the Director of Central Intelligence, the Central Intelligence Agency, John Ratcliffe, who we just heard from, were both asked about the Signal chat, to which Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, was inadvertently invited by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. There was no classified material that was shared in that group, Gabbard told members of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Ratcliffe said much of the same. My communications, to be clear, in the Signal message group were entirely permissible and lawful and did not include classified information. We'll see about that. They're going with this whole classified information thing. When did it include war plans or attack plans? Absolutely, 150%. At a Senate hearing yesterday, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and the Director of John Ratcliffe were both asked about the Signal thing. Ratcliffe said much of the same. My communications, to be clear, in the Signal message group were entirely permissible. Okay. President Trump asked yesterday about the same matter, said it wasn't classified information. Keep going. Let's get down to the chat, shall we? Let's get down to what was said and what wasn't said so that we can give people an idea of just how much bullshit is going on here. I sent you guys in the chat. Go back to that one that I just sent. That was there. I sent you guys a text of the last night of the kid, and I want. Can we please get that in? I need to go back to. There's a text message. Right. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. So here we go. No, back up. Let's see. What do we have here? There we go, Andy. Okay. So the text beneath this began. Time now, 11:44 Eastern. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are a go for a mission launch. CENTCOM, or Central Command, is the military's combatant command for the Middle East. The Hegseth text continues. 12:15 Eastern. F-18s launch. First strike package. This is all Pete Hegseth. This is your Secretary of Defense on a non-secure encrypted, non-government secured encrypted texting platform, which may or may not be improved by the government, depending on which device you're using. Trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is his unknown location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQs, MQ-9s. He's giving specifics on the targets. And the type of weapons they are using. This is the Defense Secretary of the United States on something that is not secure, that our adversaries can get and can hack into. Let's continue. Let's look at more of the text messages. Scroll down. Okay. Hegseth then continued. This is 1410. These are all times Eastern, okay? More F-18s launched. Second strike package, 1415. Strike drones on target, and then all caps, okay? This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. Your defense secretary right here. At 1536, F-18 second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawks launched. All caps, more to follow per timeline. We are currently clean on OPSEC. That is operational security. Godspeed to our warriors. I told you there are receipts. Shortly after Vice President J.D. Vance texted the group, I will say a prayer for victory. At 1:48, Waltz sent the following text containing real-time intelligence about conditions in an attack site, apparently in Sana'a. VP building collapse. Okay, so again, they go on. This is Waltz and Pete Hegseth mostly. Keep going. Let's read the text. Okay, so this is him, as we showed you, Mike Waltz being invited and added to the group, and they know because they all get an alert that Mike Waltz added you, meaning Jeffrey Goldberg, to the group. Okay, all right, so here we go. Mike Waltz says, team, this is at the beginning, I believe, establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis, particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy, Alex Wong, is pulling together a tiger team at deputies agency chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the sit room, the situation room, perhaps where this should have been discussed this morning for action items, and we'll be sending that out later this evening. Please provide the best staff POC, person of contact from your team for us to coordinate with over the next couple of days and over the weekend. Thanks. Okay, keep going. So here is MAR, Marco Rubio, Mike Needham for state. So he's giving, okay, this is who you contact for me. Then JD Vance gives his person, Andy Baker for VP. And then Tulsi Gabbard on here as well. Remember, they're all in here and they're all culpable. Joe Kent for DNI. This is the Director of National Intelligence responding on this encrypted messaging app rather than in a SCIF or something that is highly containable like the Situation Room where you can be open about it. Tulsi Gabbard, the Vice President of the United States. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Here's Scott Bessent, who is he's not Commerce Secretary, but he's an economic advisor. Scott Bessent says Dan Katz for Treasury. He's a Treasury Secretary. Okay, and then Pete Hegseth go up. Dan Caldwell for the Department of Defense. And then Brian McCormick gets in. Brian McCormick for NSC. And then Mike Waltz. Team, you should have a statement of conclusions with taskings per the president's guidance this morning in your high side inboxes. State and DOD, we developed suggested notification lists for regional allies and partners. Joint Staff is sending this AM a more specific sequence of events in the coming days, and we will work with DOD, the Department of Defense, to ensure COS, OVP, and POTUS are briefed. Amy Diaz, you're right. You cannot make this up. Jeffrey Goldberg thought he was being punked, that he was being tricked when he received these. Keep going. I just want to show you just how detailed these are. And then J.D. Vance, the vice president, according to the reporting, all of this is according to the reporting. Team, I am out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. Okay. 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez. This is only 3%. 40% of European trade does. There is a real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it is necessary. The strongest reason to do this is, as POTUS said, to send a message. So Donald Trump is trying to send a message here because, again, as I've been telling you, he needs to change the narrative. He needs to do something. This is, have you guys seen the movie Wag the Dog? The economy is in trouble. They're firing people. The veterans are pissed off. There are protests all over the country for people who are saying, what about these funds that we need? What about these services that we need? Why are so many people getting fired? Why aren't we helping our neighbors and our allies? Why are we attacking Canada? Why are we putting these tariffs on it? Why is my 401k and my retirement, why is it tanking? The answer is right here. The strongest reason to do this, J.D. Vance just texted the quiet part out loud. The strongest reason to do this, as POTUS said, to send a message. Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. What time is it? Oh, it's still morning. Good morning. That is what they're doing. They'd struck Yemen. 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez. So is this about the United States, or is this about an ally, or something else? Is this about the Middle East? Is it about Israel? Is it about what? Is it about a message to the American people to change the narrative? Is it a distraction? Keep going, keep scrolling up. But I'm not sure that the president is aware of how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. So your gas, what it costs to heat your home and cool your home, it is going to go up, according to J.D. Vance, the vice president. Possibly go up, but it probably will go up. I am willing to support the consensus of the team and keep these concerns to myself, but there is a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc. What did I just tell you? The economy is terrible. Wow, exposed. People's lives are a message. WTF. So J.D. Vance just told you what this is about. They're wagging the dog here, and they're trying to get you to what? Get your mind off of what is happening here and distract you to some shit that's going on, that we are big and strong and we are bombing and doing all of this stuff. Joe Kent, there's nothing time sensitive driving the timeline. We'll have the exact same options in a month. The Israelis, what did I just say? The Israelis will likely take strikes and therefore ask us for more support to replenish whatever they use against the Houthis. But that's a minor factor. I will send you the unclassified documents that we pulled on BAM shipping. And then John Ratcliffe, who you just heard from, right? The National Security Advisor. The CIA perspective. We're mobilizing assets to support now, but a delay would not negatively impact us, and additional time would be used to identify better starting points for coverage on Houthi leadership. Vice President Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth to the, I guess he's quoting the VP or asking. To the VP. I understand your concerns and fully support you raising with POTUS important considerations, most of which are tough to know how they play out. Economy, Ukraine peace, Gaza, etc. I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we would need to stay focused on 1, Biden failed, 2, Iran funded. These are the talking points. Blame the prior and previous administration. Waiting a few weeks or a month does not fundamentally change the calculus. 2 immediate risks on waiting. 1, this leaks and we look indecisive. We look weak. We don't want to look weak, right? 2, Israel. What did I tell you guys? Takes action first, or Gaza ceasefire falls apart. And we don't get to start this on our own terms. We can manage both. We are protected. We are prepared to execute. And if I had final go or no go vote, I believe we should. This is not about the Houthis. It should be, this is not about the Houthis. I see it as two things: restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, and reestablish deterrence with Biden, which Biden cratered. But we can easily pause. And if we do, I will do all we can to enforce 100% OPSEC. I welcome other thoughts. And then Mike Walls weighs in, and then it goes on and on and on. So that is the last part. These text messages that I am showing you really shows why they were doing it. Again, a wag the dog situation that they were involved in here, trying to, again, distract you from what is real. And that is their promise to make the economy better, to make your lives easier. And yet they're going overseas for something that's only 3% of US trade so that they can send a message. This information would never leave a skiff. Committed to the journey says. And you're right. This should have been done in the skiff, in the situation room, and over a secured, approved government transmission platform. That is how this should have happened. Guys, I'm telling you, military needs to stop taking orders from these goons, says May Money. May Money, you're right. So then now, what happens now? So this is, again, this is a wag the dog, but the first part is what is the incriminating part. Those text messages. Look, Andy, go to those messages. Do we have any more of the text messages as they're saying, okay, guys, here we go, like a video game. The bombs are about to start. We're about to do this. We're about to go forward. That is the shit that's going to get them in trouble. That is the shit that is going to be hard to explain to the American people, to lawmakers, to our allies, who are now going to be concerned about what? Sharing intelligence information with the United States. Look how long this goes on. And so I can understand why Jeffrey Goldberg was hesitant. Here we go, right here. Look at this. Why Jeffrey Goldberg was hesitant to release this information. People were saying, why did he release this information? And why did he exit the text chain? Because I certainly would back up. I want just the beginning. I just want to look here. And I know we've read them. But Pete Hegseth, who is all gung-ho right here. Hey, guys, look. Oh, my gosh, he couldn't wait. Hey, time now, 11:44 East. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are a go for mission launch. Now, why do they need to do this over a text chain? Launch 1, F-18s launch, first strike package. And then trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts, target terrorist and his known location. So should be on time. Also, strike drones launch, MQ-9s. Yeah, let's go. This is why this guy is not qualified. He's giving all of this over this app. F-18, more F-18s launch, second strike package, strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. F-18, second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawks launch. More to follow per timeline. We are currently clean on OPSEC. Godspeed to our warriors. JD Vance jumps in. Keep going. I will say a prayer of victory. Mike Walls, VP, building collapse. Now, Mike Walls is on this thing. Had multiple positive ID. Pete, Gorilla, the IC, amazing job. Keep going. They're on this like, oh my God, it's a video game. What? Typing too fast. The first target, their top missile guy. We had positive ID of him walking into his girlfriend's building and is now collapsed. What the fuck are they doing? And they're celebrating it. And they're celebrating it. Let's get back to the hearing, please. Please, sound up hearing. Let's go.
Small distinction there. You referenced and asked if
louder, please.
Two platforms are weapon systems. They are, but those terms are used all across the globe in a lot of context. So it's really about how they're used in the context of this particular document. I just want to clarify that the use of those.
I understand.
Yeah.
In this situation, those are operational details.
They are operational details, but again, as you quoted the DoD instruction, it's about operations. So as you further go down into what are the operational details, I think as we had a discussion yesterday, the important aspect, I think all of us are very familiar.
This is classified information. This is classified information. It's a weapon system, as well as sequence of strikes, as well as details about the operations. And so I think that, just piggybacking off of what some other members have said, using the DoD's manual as well as the executive order in operation today with the Trump administration, this text message is clearly classified information. Secretary Hegseth has disclosed military plans as well as classified information. He needs to resign immediately. He needs to resign immediately, and a full investigation needs to be undertaken with regard to whether other similar signal chats are occurring in this administration. I'd like to turn my attention to another topic. Director Patel, according to the DOJ, in 2022, the FBI led Joint Terrorism Task Force, JTTF, in my hometown of Chicago, valiantly led efforts to prevent—
Okay, so this is coming up in the meetings. I just wanted to make, in the hearings, I just wanted to make sure that you guys heard all of that. Okay, let's see. Jeffrey Goldberg is explaining, and I want you guys, so you guys saw all of the text. Let's make sure that I got through all the text. Where were we, Andy? Let's pick it up where we were. I want to make sure that we get through all of these text messages. And so they're going, excellent, JD Vance, excellent. Typing too fast. The first target, the top missile guy, going into the building with his girlfriend and it collapsed. Excellent, says JD Vance. Mike Waltz, look at this. So this is, you remember what Jared Moskowitz was doing yesterday in the hearing? This is why he's doing this. Fist. American flag, fire. Good job, Pete and team. And your team, that's Marco Rubio. Mike Waltz, the team in MAL did a great job as well. Stephen Miller, great work all. Powerful start. Pete Hegseth, CENTCOM is on point. Great job. Great job, all. More strikes ongoing for hours tonight, and we'll provide full initial report tomorrow, but on time, on target, and good readout so far. Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles is the chief of staff. Kudos to all, most particularly those in theater and CENTCOM. Really great. God bless over the killing of these people. God bless Steve Witkoff. 2 prayer emojis, strong muscles. 2 American flags. Great work effects. Tulsi Gabbard. They're all in on this. Houthi small PC small group. These are the members. JG, who is the reporter, Jeffrey Goldberg. Mike Waltz is the administrator who started it. Scott Bessent, Walker Barrett, Brian, Pete Hegseth, Jacob, Dan Katz, Joe Kent, SM, who's Stephen Miller, I believe, MAR, Marco Rubio, Mike Needham, John Ratcliffe, Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles is on there twice. So is Marco Rubio, TG, Tulsi Gabbard, JD Vance, Steve Witkoff, Alex Wong. How are you feeling now about this? How are you guys feeling now about this? Hey, MAGA. Say MAGA. I hear you like I'm stupid. So stupid and idiotic and an unforced error. These people should be fired. They are all unqualified. Now, the president says he's standing by and they're going to make any changes. I don't believe that. I am going to venture a guess that Mike Waltz is out of here and that Pete Hegseth is on thin ice. And it's going to be tough for him to get rid of, especially Pete Hegseth, because he went to bat for him. All of them went to bat for him. And remember all the people who had concerns about Pete Hegseth's qualifications and the allegations against him from former coworkers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They got some splaining to do. Now, I just wanted, I love Tim Miller over at the Bulwark, and I love that Jeffrey Goldberg went on with Tim Miller to explain initially about why he didn't release this. And then upon further review, after them trying to sully his reputation, this is what he said yesterday, and now this is what he decided to do. This was yesterday, though, before he decided to release him. Here it is.
Now, the Secretary of Defense and the White House press secretary have said you're lying, have said there are no war plans there, have said there's no classified information. So the obvious question is, shouldn't you now demonstrate it? Shouldn't you publish the text?
No, because they're wrong. They're wrong.
But how can you prove that you're wrong? Maybe should you provide them to the House and Senate Special Committees on Intelligence? Maybe. I don't know.
Wow. Well, you want to become my lawyer?
I'm throwing this out there, Jeff. I don't know. I mean, look.
I feel like no. I mean, I obviously. Let me just put it this way: my colleagues and I, and the advice and the people who are giving us advice on this have some interesting conversations to have about this.
Yeah.
But just because they're irresponsible with material doesn't mean that I'm going to be irresponsible with this material. And you know what? I could, whatever. I mean, you've had a long history, as I have, with dealing with them. And at moments like this, when they're under pressure because they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar or whatever, they will just literally say anything to get out of the moment, to get out of the jam. And that's okay. I get it. I get the defensive reaction. And but here's the thing. My obligation, I feel, is to the idea that we take national security information seriously. Mm-hmm. And maybe in the coming days, I'll be able to let you know that, okay, I have a plan to have this material vetted publicly. But I'm not going to say that now because there's a lot of conversations that have to happen about that.
Okay, let's leave it there because obviously he decided, he had a change of heart and a change of mind. And I think actually they're playing it out. I think they're being strategic about it. And I believe that there is more to come. And I think they're going to string them along and they're just going to let them dig their own hole, keep digging a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. Now, I hate to do this to you again, but I want you to listen to, again, after you've heard and you've seen all of this, you've seen the evidence, you've heard from Jeffrey Goldberg, you heard live hearings. This is the president again giving his assessment on Newsmax.
What it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission, somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app, and somehow this guy ended up on the call. Now, it wasn't classified, as I understand it. There was no classified information. There was no problem, and the attack was a tremendous success. So I can only go by what I've been told. I wasn't involved in it, but I was told by, and the other people weren't involved at all. But I feel very comfortable, actually.
You were on the.
Yeah. So I feel very comfortable with this little person, because you know what they say, out of the mouths of babes. I feel very comfortable by calling on all of them this. Here it is.
What? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. Bullshit.
Bullshit. As my mom used to say growing up, are you bullshitting the booger bear? Are you trying to bullshit the booger bear? They're trying to bullshit you. Let's see how if they have enough shovels and enough boots right now to deal with it. Back to the hearing.
Classification standards. You're the Director of National Intelligence. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence classification guide says, quote, information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing for an attack, end quote, is to be classified as top secret. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Director Gabbard, have the Houthis indicated an ability to shoot down American aircraft?
Yes.
They have in fact done so, haven't they?
Yes.
Including MQ-9 Reapers, haven't they?
That's correct.
And that was one of the systems used in the attack recently that's the subject of this discussion, is it not?
Correct.
General Cruz, are you familiar with this system?
I'm not wearing my glasses at the moment, but
Well, I'll help you out. This is an SA-3 anti-aircraft system.
correct.
Are you familiar with this next system?
I am.
What is it?
Remember, Jason Crow is a former member of the military.
It's an SA-6.
I'm going to guess that
This is also an advanced anti-aircraft system, is it not?
It is. It was used widely in the Balkans in the 90s. Correct.
And the Houthis also have this system, don't they?
They certainly do.
And they've employed it against our aircraft, have they not?
They have attempted to. Correct.
I spent my life in service to this country. I deployed 3 times to combat in service to this nation. I learned in that time in service that responsibility is core to leadership. You accept responsibility when things go wrong. You admit mistakes. You set the standard from the very top. It is completely outrageous to me that administration officials come before us today with impunity, no acceptance of responsibility, excuse after excuse after excuse, while we send our men and women downrange to do incredibly difficult, incredibly dangerous things on our behalf. And yet, nobody is willing to come to us and say this was wrong. This was a breach of security and we won't do it again. It is outrageous and it is a leadership failure, and that's why Secretary Hegseth, who undoubtedly transmitted classified, sensitive operational information via this chain, must resign immediately. There can be no fixes, there can be no corrections until there is accountability, and I'm calling on the administration to move forward with accountability. I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Gentleman from Texas, Mr. Crenshaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. Good to
Okay,
see
so
you.
here's the
Thank
thing.
you again.
Remember, Jason Crow
And,
is a former member of the, or a veteran, and is perhaps a member. I'm not sure if he's retired or what have you. Bullshit. 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 And they know it. And guess what? And guess what? If you have watched the responses, if you have watched conservative media, if you have watched the podcast bros who defend Donald Trump and MAGA all day long, the MAGA, the biz bros, all of that, knows. All that Sean Hannity knows. Jesse Walters knows. Laura Ingraham knows. Tulsi Gabbard knows. She's no fool. They all know that this is bad. They all know that they fucked up. They all know that this could take down the administration. They all know it. But they're going to do everything they can. And I'm not lying to you. I'm not just saying this just to say it because I'm some Trump or MAGA hater. No, I'm just telling you, in any other normal circumstance, normal administration, these folks would be gone. They would be fired or they would have to resign. They would be held accountable. Donald Trump would be held accountable. Remember, the Watergate hearings, Nixon was driven from office, left the White House on a helicopter for something I don't even know if it's of this magnitude. And they are going to try to downplay it. Oh, they let in a text message, and now your aunt knows everything that you're doing at your bachelor party, and that you have strippers and all that. This is not that. This is serious. This is a breach of national security, of international security, and they know it. Do not be bamboozled. Do not be fooled. And all you have to do is got to fight back. Can't let them off the hook with this. You gotta continue to put pressure on the lawmakers, your congressmen, your senators, everyone. Call the White House if you have to, because your safety in all of this is at stake as well. They know. Are you going to let them get away with it? If they get away with this, they can get away with anything. Can you imagine? Now, you can't imagine, because you know, but her emails. But their text messages should be the message from Democrats moving forward. And for those, not even just Democrats, not even from Democrats, just for people who believe in democracy, who believe in security, who believe in the rule of law, who believe in justice, who believe in America. Pete Hegseth, Mike Waltz, at the very least, should be fired or resign. America, you fucked around and you found out, meaning MAGA. You put loud, and the people who voted in favor of these people being appointed to the U.S. government in these high positions. It's your fault as well. And now here we are. Fire them all, says BC. I don't disagree with you. And I don't root for anybody to be fired or to lose their job, but this is incompetence at the highest level. Someone in the chat says Jeffrey Goldberg did release the entire text this morning. Where have you been? We've been talking about it the whole time we read them. Who said that? Andy, find that one. Who is that? I saw someone in the chat saying Jeffrey Goldberg released the entire text message this morning. Of course, we know that. So let me tell you guys this. Please hit the like, hit the thumbs up. Okay. It's the engagement is so huge right now. I hate to leave. So we're going to talk for a little bit. I'm going to call out in some of the chat. You can hear my little doggy in there who is sick, barking. So that's Gus Gus. And everybody who's been here for a long time knows who Gus Gus is. He is my oldest, and he's 16, a little bit old. And so let's talk about what's happening. I'm going to go to the text messages. Stand by. Let me go in there. Not the text messages, but some of your comments, because I really want to know what you guys have to say. So here we go to the Don Lemon Show. There we go. Okay. I want to know what you guys are saying, and I want to call out some of the new members and some of the folks who are supporting us. So again, thank you so much for all of that. And let's see what you guys have to say. Have you hit the like button? Yes. The membership is at the top of the chat. I want to thank Kimberly Eisler. Thank you. All their personally phones needed to be confiscated to see what other damage they have done and how many times they have jeopardized our country. I agree with that 100%. Also, we have to remember that this information, it was set to disappear, which is also illegal. They're not supposed to do that. Catherine W., I'm glad that you like Gus Gus. Chloe says this is not a threat to national security. Protesting at a college is so more worse. That's what they're saying. They're saying that protesting at a college, or if you vandalism on Tesla, that is a terrorist plot, but this is a mistake and should be forgiven, is what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. You're right on with that. So again, welcome to all the new members here. Welcome, One Baby. I'm glad that you're here. Kimberly Iser, again, thank you so much for your support. Let's see who else we have here. social science. That administration down, what are they waiting on? The Easter Bunny? They're waiting on Jimmy Hoffa to reappear? Like, what are they doing? Well, look, they're in control. I don't think Democrats have, that much leverage at this point in time. I don't believe that they do, but this is the most leverage I believe that they have. And this is over something that is real. This is not partisan for this. If a Democrat had done this, if a president who was a Democrat had done this, can you imagine the fallout and what the right would be doing and saying, and how they would be portraying this on the news and on Fox News? They wouldn't be downplaying it as some frat boy mistake or some bachelor mistake, or you just inadvertently by accident added someone to a chat, when the whole point, according to someone who was in the chat earlier, was that what? This was, the whole thing of it is that this was on signal. That is the whole thing of it. So welcome, Being Nancy. Welcome to all of our new members. Welcome to One by One. Welcome to Heather Askew. And thank you, Nancy, for your super sticker. We appreciate it. Nicole Harris, welcome. Tam, welcome to the Lemonation. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Heidi Schwinde, welcome to the Lemonation. Tej, welcome to the Lemonation. Lori Tyler, welcome to the Lemonation. EG became a member. Welcome as well. Rebecca W97, welcome to the Lemonation. If you're on TikTok, you're watching us live, make sure you hit the heart. Robert Bennett, welcome to the Lemonation. We appreciate your support as well. Micah H, welcome. So all of you, and thank you so much for your support. Yan, welcome. As a veteran of UCAF, if I shared even a sliver of what has been shared in that group chat, I would be put under the jail and charged with espionage. And that is the whole point of it. So, so I think Nikki's gone. Anything you want to add, Andy, Peter? Anything you guys want to add about this? Because I think that these guys should be fired. I think Nikki is gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's utterly nuts. But the Lemonation should stay tuned because we're hoping to get a fantastic guest tonight to break this all down.
Yeah. Wow. This really makes me sad. Okay, guys, look, we're going to see you back here at 5 p.m. Eastern. Also look for our drop at 2 p.m. As well, but we'll be back live. And K Nietzsche Gill, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate all of you. We're live every day at 10 a.m. and then 5 p.m. Eastern time, where we break down all the news and we talk to you and we let you talk and we do our thing. And thank you for your generous support. Because of that, we get to continue to stream and be independent and talk about things that you cannot talk about in corporate media in a way that they cannot talk about it. So thank you for supporting us and keeping us going. And make sure you tune in today, 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be live. The Lemonation will be here on the Don Lemon Show, on the Don Lemon channel. And you too can become a lemon head. Okay. So the subscriptions are free. The membership's at the top of the chat. And we will see you back here at 5 o'clock. You guys know what I say, right? Anybody got it? After I leave. You're getting off, Marv. I know you guys don't want me to leave. We have so much of an engagement, but I got to go. We got stuff to do. Okay. So as we say every time, thank you. We love you. We'll see you back here live at 5 p.m. Turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your